The international event is now on dotaboom.gg. Special cases, exclusive skins, and a nice atmosphere of the main tournament of the year are waiting for you. Get 50 cents for signing up and open a case for free. Or try your luck with a multicast case and get a chance to grab 4 skins in one go. And here's what's important, the probably fair system makes sure all the results are fair and square. And by the way, every day, 20 of the most active users will share skins worth $90. And once a week, the most active Dota 2 players will receive exclusive sets and Arcana items worth over 300. If that's not enough for you, then when you reach level 5, you'll be able to open free daily cases every day. And the higher your level is, the more cases you'll be able to open. So hurry up, use this promo code and get a bonus of 5% on your deposit, free coins and a free case. And the first 100 new users will also get 50 cents for registering. So don't waste your time, click the link in the description, activate the promo code, grab your bonuses, and then come back and continue watching the video.
Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here. It's been a minute. We're back at it. Today's video, we're going to be talking about TI and the trends of the tournament. But before we do that, I just want to say I met a lot of you guys at TI in Hamburg, and it was like super awesome. The people that I met were all super friendly. You guys were like insanely nice, took a lot of photos, signed some stuff. I mean, it was just very heartwarming. You know, obviously it feels good to be recognized for like the things you do. And, you know, when you make videos online, it's not like you exactly know the impact that you're having, right? It's not always that clear. But when you talk to people in real life and you get to meet, your fans and friends, it really does feel good. So thank you guys for being awesome. And I'm excited to get back to making videos. Going to talk about TI. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about. I have so many ideas. Also, if you guys have ideas of maybe things you'd like to see from me, maybe related to TI or unrelated to TI, I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. But all right, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing is Helm Dom. Now, I do think there is going to be a patch probably sooner than later, so I don't really want to make a full video on Helm Dom. I think it is maybe going to be a waste of time, assuming the item is going to be like a huge thing that Valve looks at to be nerfed. So yeah, I don't think I'll end up making a full video. I'll give you my brief thoughts on the items though, assuming maybe it doesn't get killed. So first things first, Helm Dom will stay relevant. In its current place, it will stay very relevant. I think some people maybe had the idea that, Falcons is figuring out Helm Dom and, it's not that good. But no, I think Falcons just didn't use it that much. And in Game 5, literally in Game 5, Amar had a Helm Dom. So it's like, this item will stay very relevant, especially on certain heroes. For instance, Anti-Mage. This item is fantastic. Faceless Void, fantastic. We saw the Monkey King pause 4. I'm actually going to talk about that later, so I'm not going to get into that too much. But for instance, Anti-Mage. I think this hero is going to be very relevant until the patch because Helm Dom is so damn good. The Helm of Iron Will is fantastic on this hero in the laning stage. You very much need the regen. And the biggest thing about a hero like AM is that he doesn't hit neutrals efficiently at all. Especially once the creep is out of mana, you kill it very slowly. And so the big thing that this item does is it lets you kill neutrals, amp your farm, have a laning item, but honestly, the biggest part of it for certain heroes like AM or Faceless Void is that when they have bad matchups, let's say you're against a Disruptor, that guy's level 6, you're afraid of showing, you can't go kill the lane creeps, but you need lane creeps on these heroes. Well, go send your tomato and do a little bit of micro and get some last hits. And that's kind of why this item is so broken on these heroes. It's obviously just like mega ramps your farm speed because, by the way, I don't even know if everyone understands, so let me make it clear. Every single time you convert a creep, it gives you full gold and full XP. It is full, so you don't lose anything from converting a creep, right? Literally nothing on a 45-second cooldown, which is unbelievable, considering the cooldown ticks down while you have the creep. I think maybe part of the way they can nerf the item is by making it where it doesn't tick down while you have a creep active. So there's like big points in downtime, but honestly, that would probably just kill the item completely. So I don't know if maybe they can make it like half. Perhaps that's not the solution, but yeah. The biggest thing about Helm Dom for this item, if you want to buy it, is you need to buy it on heroes that don't need an item to play the game or just want to farm. For instance, hard carries. They just want to farm. Invoker mid. This guy just has spells and wants to farm. It makes a lot of sense, right? On top of that, he might buy drums. He might even use alacrity. Right, so it's very good. Oh, it also works for Force Spears. The minus armor is synergistic. The other example is like these roaming pause fours. You probably saw ZinQ buy it in the finals. You're gonna see 9 class buying it. Why? Because these heroes, certain heroes, can do things without an extra item or without any item. For instance, he bought it on Hoodwink in one game. Why is that okay? It's okay because in some games, you might only really want like a Glimmer. And then, yes, items are broken on Hoodwink because she gets 300 cast range when using them. So like, frankly, every item is kind of just broken on Hoodwink. But you can get away with buying something like Helm Bomb because maybe your team just needs info on the map, right? I mean, partially you want to scale, but I think the main reason you buy it is you just need info on the map. It just lets you push creep waves. And you might be like, why? You can just do it with the hero. Yeah, that's true, but you can't do it everywhere, right? And so it's very relevant in some games for just pushing waves. But in general, as a first item, that's when it's best, and it's on heroes that don't need an item. Okay, next up, team fights. So team fights were a huge priority of the tournament. The biggest gold swings in Dota come from team fights, and in general, when you're playing pubs, guys, you don't want to miss team fights, especially from minute 20 to 35. These are the most impactful fights in the game because they result in Tormentor and they result in Roshan, right? And so, frankly, team fighting is very, very important. It's just kind of like something teams have gotten really good at, which is knowing when to team fight. And frankly, guys, it's at Power Runes, at Tormentor, and at Roshan, right? These are the main times to take team fights. And then outside of that, it's a lot of just farming. That's the current state of Dota, guys. There are so many camps. So if you're unsure what to do in your pubs, farm kind of a lot. Obviously, if you're pause 4, you should probably click the occasional smoke, get a pick off, like contest runes, stuff like that. But like farm quite a bit, especially if you're a core, and then take fights on Power Runes, on the Tormentor, and on Roche, and you'll probably gain quite a bit of rank. And on top of that, on that note, games went very long this tournament, which was awesome for the viewing experience. I'm sure a lot of you guys agree that this TI was very fun to watch. It was super up and down, a lot of upsets as well. But yeah, basically the scaling was a big thing for me. It's not even necessarily picking team fighting, although there was quite a bit of, Enigma, there was a lot of Disruptor, there was a lot of a good amount of Sand King, a lot of Shaker, so you could argue there was a good amount of team fighting, but not that much. I wouldn't say like this TI was Tidehunter, Shaker plus Enigma, and it's like just group up. It wasn't really that. There was quite a bit of Bane, Hoodwinks. I would say something like Snap isn't exactly hard team fight, so I wouldn't say it was like some super team fighting meta per se. There wasn't even that many aura items. I guess there was a solid amount of Pipe, a decent amount of Crimson, especially because of the high quantity of unit heroes. But yeah, scaling was the big thing. A lot of AMs, especially as the tournament progressed. Faceless Void, AM, Medusa, just drafts that are really going to scale into the game. Even a hero like Sand King or Shaker, right, became very relevant because these heroes with Refresher Orb are just disgusting. Okay, into the next point, Wave Shove. Just the ability to kill waves. Heroes that can kill waves rise in popularity. Again, so let's look at Shaker. This hero was giga contested. Even though I actually think it's slightly overrated, I do think it is extremely good, but it is slightly overrated, especially mid. Anything that can kill waves is just better than other heroes at the highest level. Now, in pubs, I don't necessarily think this is as true because people just simply use information worse, but in general, the ability to kill waves from out of vision and quickly is really broken. For instance, Shaker with his Fissure plus Shard can kill a wave without showing at all. And this is really, really good because, again, you're giving very little info, and you're taking very little risk. So that's huge. Now, the biggest thing I'd say is that when you shove waves, you need to understand what it gives. And I would say it gives a couple of things. Number one, it's going to set up smokes, and it's going to set up wards. When you're pushing in all the waves on the map, it's going to make people show in very defensive positions. It's also just going to give you a lot of gold, and it's also going to let your supports move up and place deeper vision so you can get kills in relevant areas. What I mean by that is when you place deep vision in Dota, and you then get kills because of that deep vision, then you can transition it into Roche, into Tormentor, or just into towers. Even Power Runes, right? When you get these deeper kills, it's super great. On top of that, if you take a fight on a deep ward and you lose the fight, the enemy isn't close to your objectives. And so I would say it's very relevant to push waves to get down deep vision and then make plays around that deep vision, especially if it's close to the Tormentor or Roshan. Roshan being the biggest one by far. That was very clear this tournament. Okay, next up, the gap between teams is not what it used to be. Just a quick side note, not relevant to the game itself, but at the top level, I mean, here's what I'll say, guys. Team Falcons, who won the event, almost lost, like really, almost lost to Team Nemesis round 1. Now, you could say it was an off day, they were just figuring their shit out. Sure. But the fact that Team Nemesis could come close at all just shows where the teams are at right now. And, you know, if you watch my games, you can even see that, you know, sure, I lost 0-2 to Team Spirit, 0-2 to Paravision, 0-2 to Aurora. So, like, obviously there's still a gap. These teams are just better on average. But a lot of the games are close. You know, if you guys watch game 2 of, you know, my team versus Paravision, we had a big lead. We definitely could have won that game. It was a very close game. I think we were outplaying them most of the match, for sure. And, yeah, just everyone kind of has a lot of good ideas. It's just about consistency. It's about consistency in these good ideas. I would say the top teams are just way more consistent, about having good drafts, good ideas. I think a lot of the lower teams around my rank kind of require like a good early game to snowball, because they are, I think we're just a bit more inconsistent on the important ideas. But yeah, the gap is not what it used to be. You know, old TIs, there were just some teams that you knew were going to get smacked. Like smacked. I don't really think that's the case anymore, and honestly, that's cool and it's great. I mentioned this already, but Shaker mid is overrated. I just think that Shaker mid specifically, when it gets counterpicked by something like a Queen of Pain, and then has a bad lane, it's just a burden. Like, yes, the hero can then recover with stacks, but like, if it loses mid, it's not good at fighting these stacks. And then, you know, I would hear the casters sometimes say like, oh, but you know, it's like hard to contest the stacks because you'll take echo damage. But like only kind of, you know, that assumes the Shaker's just like standing there and like waiting for you and aggroing the camps at the right time, and you're not catching them on a ward, and like you probably have a power rune and your support maybe can be poking as well, and like worst case you can also just sap the XP, which is like very, very, very relevant. In fact, the XP is more important in most cases in the stacks because it gives the pause 4 a fast 6 or a pause 5 a fast 6. So it's really not that easy to just recover, you know, especially considering how aware the pros are that stacks are being made. I mean, they're being blocked. Like literally my game plan at the beginning of the game when I'm looking at like the enemy team, I'm like, can they stack? Should I go for runes? Okay, next up, Snap and Hoodwink, easy kill combos, super popular. These heroes were mega picked this tournament. Snapfire, I do think requires a video in and of herself. This hero is exceptional because of the fact that it makes the early game easy. Stun plus Mortimers, super straightforward. And then as the game progresses, it just scales exceptionally. But again, I'll make a full video on her. But yeah, and then with Hoodwink, these two heroes mega contested, especially by the top teams. And it's just easy Dota. Wave shove plus easy kill combo. Plus these heroes both have stuns. Hoodwink stun being way better, but it's just like when you have this hero that just like kills waves from 40 billion range and also gives you kill threat, it's very easy to play Dota at the highest level because you just like kind of pair these two heroes together while the rest of your team farms the 40 trillion camps that are around the map, and that's kind of your setup, genuinely. Okay, next up, NP struggled this tournament, had a 40% win rate overall. It was 0-6 in the main stage. However, I do think that the hero is still a very good carry. I think it's quite weak as a sup. Not terrible. I still think it's like fine, and teams will try it. I really do believe that like it's going to be overlooked completely because of how bad it did, but I still think it's fine. The biggest thing that it just can't play against Lycan at all in either role. And so, yeah, I think it's very good to just have Lycan banned if you're going to play this hero, even in your pubs. Like, be aware of that. And that's my next point. Lycan is first ban. And that kind of enables heroes like NP, right? If Lycan's just being banned, then it's just good for NP. And so, yeah, Lycan's first ban, which is kind of crazy, but Helm Dom is really ridiculous. This hero scales really well. Wave Shove and Info is the name of the game at the highest level, and Lycan is probably the best hero in the game at Wave Shove plus Info. Actually, it just is. It's actually not even a competition. Like, it is the best. Probably by far for Wave Shove plus Info. Okay, no, that's not true. There's only one other hero that's close, and actually it is my next point, and that is Naga Siren. And I do believe Naga should have stayed first ban. Game 5, yeah. I don't know what they were thinking. I just really disagree with them deciding to not ban the Naga. I can see maybe the idea that like, hey, Snake King hasn't played in a while. We can catch them off guard. Maybe they're a little bit uncomfortable. They've been playing Chen Naga. But what was weird to me is that they didn't like leave Naga and then also leave like Chen and Ench and just get to ban other stuff and be like, hey guys, like you can play Naga, but now you're not going to play Chen and Ench and we can ban other stuff. Like I could see that line maybe, but they just kind of like banned Chen Ench and then left Naga. And it's like, surely Snake King can play Naga And on top of that, it like giga fits what this guy wants to do in the game. So I was, you know, he's literally playing Chen Edge. Naga is just better Chen Edge. Like, it's a little different. It's a weaker laner than Chen for sure, and probably a touch weaker than Edge. Depends on matchup very much. But this hero is mega broken. Like, if you don't understand why, I'll probably make a video at some point. I do think it's not like some insane low Mamar pub hero. In fact, it's definitely not, but it's just a broken hero if you understand why. The info it provides, it blocks 3 camps per minute if you're efficient. It contests runes, water rune a minute 2-4 without having to leave the lane. It gives more info than any other hero in the game. As a support, like, it doesn't even take a core slot like Lycan does, it's just a sup. And then it's one of the best team fighters in the game. It literally heals your entire team for like 30% of their health. With the shard, it's like 40-something% of their health. It's something ridiculous. And you scale insanely well. If the game is hard, you can delay it. If the game is good, you completely control the tempo. It's just a stupid hero. I think they maybe should remove Deluge, but I don't know. Co-op had a good tourney, maybe undervalued. I think this hero was a bit underpicked. That's all I kind of have to say. I think the hero is actually a very good Helm Dom hero. I think it's just a solid hero overall, and perhaps was undervalued. I expect to maybe see more co-op in the future, especially if Lycan and Beastmaster stay banned. Dawn fell flat this tournament, only a 30% win rate. I don't think this hero is terrible, but it was like first pick in pubs, which was always weird to me. I was playing like my pubs, and I'm like, people are like, pick Dawn, ban Dawn, pick Dawn, pick Dawn. I wouldn't pick it. They'd be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, this hero, I mean, I think it's good. I mean, I like the hero. I think it's fine. I don't know. It's not like super broken. It's just okay. Okay, next up is Invoker Helm Dom. Kind of mentioned it earlier, but I'm a really big fan. Just kind of wanted to say that. I think this hero, it just provides Sunstrike threat in the laning stage, which you could very much draft around. It's really fun to just draft around Sunstrike, have a little bit of synergy, like anything, you know, Shadow Demon, Bane, you know, I mean, Bane's a little unreliable, but you get the point. Just stuff like this, very strong in my opinion, super underrated. And then finally, last point of the video, Monkey and Slark Helm Dom. So I want to discuss this because I don't want to recommend it per se. I think most people will just like ruin the game if they try to do this type of stuff. Because here's the thing. Playing Slark and Monkey King, well, let me actually explain what are the main advantages of these heroes. The main advantage of these heroes is the information that they provide, right? That is the number one thing. Why? Well, Slark, first of all, literally just tells you if there's a ward there. Monkey King and Slark both place like the best wards in the game, up there with like heroes like Ricky and Nature's Prophet that can go places, you know? And that's the main thing you need to understand. The reason why Monkey and Slark are particularly broken on 9 class is because he can literally tell you what is going to happen. He's going to place vision mega deep. He's going to de-ward because he's going to see you first because he's placing vision deep, right? When you place wards deep on the enemy map, you see them going to place wards, right? So you get the de-ward. And also he's sniping couriers, which is like insanely OP. Like if you just do the math on courier gold, it's like ridiculous how much it gives. It's insanely strong. And so also it just like delays items, especially in the laning stage. You know, if you snipe like a courier back to back, I mean, I saw him like kill treads in a game, you know, and this has happened to me in scrims where people like Schofield or whatever are just sniping couriers like crazy. And it's really strong from a gold perspective and just from delaying items. So yeah, I also think that these heroes in particular use Helm Dom insanely well because they use the levels very, very well. Monkey King just is a carry hero, so is Slark, so they just kind of naturally can scale into the game. So the later the game goes, which it's very easy to delay the game with Helm Dom because you can kill waves and give info. And when 5 players understand that you're trying to scale and trying to delay the game, and they're just playing on info, it's really hard to deal with. And so yeah, I think these heroes are very, very good. It just requires a strong understanding from your whole team, not just 9 class. I think 9 class is the best of these heroes, obviously, by a long shot, but it's also your team understanding and picking around them. You can't just pick Monkey King, get smashed in the lane, have a pause 3 that can't recover, and be like, it's fine, I will give good info. No, you're just gonna get run over. Like, you're gonna see the enemy coming, and then they're still gonna kill you, because you're 10k goal behind at minute 20. You know, like, you can't just do this. These heroes early game don't do much, unless you really know what you're doing. Like, wards, runes, couriers, you know? So yeah, maybe I'll make a video. I probably will, because it's like so cool what he does. I definitely will. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.